Okay, you are now live.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Gwen Whistler, and I'm the chair of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, and I'd like to welcome you to the February 8th meeting. All council members and staff are participating virtually. To help our audience follow along, I'll state each section of the agenda aloud. We are streaming live on our Virtual Engagement Hub, which is accessible through the Virtual Engagement Hub link on the front page of the city website. We also have an option for the public to listen live by phone by dialing 855-925-2801 and entering the code 8187. For those of you out there with us today, welcome. For today's meeting, we have the option for people to call in and comment live during the meeting. To call in and comment live, use the same number, 855-925-2801, meeting code 8187. Your phone will be muted and you will hear the meeting live. At this point, callers will hear, for more options, please press star. By pressing star three will allow callers to continue to listen live and to join the speaker queue. If you are watching the meeting through the live stream while you are listening to the meeting by phone, please be sure to turn down the volume on your device before speaking. I will now go through and introduce the committee members and the staff who are participating virtually. Please make sure to mute your microphone
right here.
if you are not speaking.
So I'm just hanging up here. I'm just hanging.
And somebody's not doing that right now. Okay. When you would like to speak, go ahead and unmute your microphone. Please remember to mute again after speaking. Council and staff, as I call your name, please say a quick hello. Councilwoman Kilgore?
Hello.
Councilwoman Turner?
Good afternoon.
Great. Community and Economic Development Director Sam Powers.
Hi, everybody.
And Business Inclusion Manager Rosanna Mulcahy.
Hello.
Thank you. Okay, so the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. May I get a motion to approve the January minutes?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Thank you. And now we'll go through the roll call vote. We'll go through a roll call vote. Councilwoman Kilgore?
Here.
Oh, the type 63.
Aye. Do you want to say aye?
Aye.
Thanks. Councilwoman Turner?
Aye.
Okay, and I also. So the minutes have been approved. So the next item on the agenda is an update on the Mountain Community Capital Fund. So Rosanna Mulcahy will give us an update on this fund.
Thank you. Sam, do you want to go first or do you want me to just go ahead?
No, I think it's fine that you would go ahead, Rosanna. I will say we've been working on this initiative for a couple of years now, and it's starting to gain a lot of traction. And so we're excited to be here today. And I want to thank Rosanna and all of our partners, the other institutions that are helping us as we move forward in this program. So Rosanna, it's all yours.
Thank you. Wait, it says I can't share it. Jenna, do you think you could share my presentation? It's telling me I cannot share.
Yes, I will.
Thank you. So when I came to work for the city in March 2018, I knew about this fund because the previous organization that I had been working for, Carolina Small Business or the Western Women Business Center, was one of the lenders. So I had been hearing for several years about the Mountain Community Capital Fund. So Jenna, will you go ahead to the next slide? Thank you. So it took a while to launch because of the of all the work that had to be put together and stuff like that. So I wanted to give a little background because I know that Ms. Turner and Ms. Kilgore were not present when we started the fund. So the Mountain Community Capital Fund is a guarantee fund for small business loans. It is a collaboration between the city and the county. The city and the county, each one of us set aside a certain amount of money. And then our lenders are Carolina Small Business Development Fund, Mountain BizWorks, and Self-Help Credit Union. A little note, Self-Help Credit Union also holds our funds in a note with zero interest to be paid if any of the loans default. This loan fund is especially intended for borrowers who do not have collateral. So once again, oftentimes people think that this is a loan fund. This is not a loan fund. This is a collateral fund. So if you go to Mountain BizWorks, Carolina Small Business, or Self-Help, and you're looking for a loan for your business and you lack the collateral to get that loan, this is where this fund would come in. It's available to entrepreneurs and small businesses in Buncombe County, in Asheville and Buncombe County. And our main target is our entrepreneurs and business owners of color, or our BIPOC business owners. It's intended to be used for loans between $5,000 and $70,000, although larger loans could be done. The program launched on Tuesday, August 27th, 2019. If you were to click on that link, it would take you directly to the page that talks about our partners and about everything else that we've done with this program. Jenna, please. So far, here are the loans that we have been able to make or are getting ready to make possible through this fund. All of them have been done through Mountain BizWorks. I am very grateful for Mountain BizWorks taking the lead on this. So basically, we've done 8 loans. One of the loans was refinanced, and it became loan number 6, as you can see. Because of privacy issues, we don't ask for specifics on the loans. Like, we don't ask for people's business name or names or social security number or anything like that. This is the information that we collect. And we do want to know if they're paying their loan on time and what's happening if they're not paying the loan on time. So far, everyone has been paying their loan on time. Nothing out of the ordinary has been reported, which we're very excited about. With that said, with me speaking with Christopher Murray, who is the underwriter director for Mountain BizWorks, he thinks that if they continue this trend, the funds will be used by May. So we would have made enough loans that all the funds, the collateral funds, would be used by May. That means that not that we've lost the money, but we're done using this fund until some loans get paid down. And Jenna, could I have the next slide? And then I wanted to do something special. I think this is such a great thing, especially for our BIPOC business owners who have often confronted the realities of not having the wealth, to create wealth. So we wanted to present Mr. Fletcher and tell a little bit about his story. And he is here with us with Justin Thompson from Mountain BizWorks. And he was asking me, what are they going to ask me? I need to know. And I said, I don't know what they're going to ask you, but that's why I'm going to be there. And I'm sure they're not going to ask you hard questions. But I just really wanted you to hear from someone who who has been able to grow their business due to this fund, so that you can see that this fund is really important to our community, and it's vital and it's critical that we continue to support and fund this work. So Mr. Fletcher, would you like to say a few words? I can't see you for some reason.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi.
Yes, I'm grateful for what they've done for me. I had another truck before this when I still got 2 trucks, and I had a lot of repairs that need to be done to it. So I asked them, I said, look, to grow my business, I'm going to need a second truck in order to, if this one's not running, I can just get in the other truck and drive. And they were able to help me get a second truck. So now, I mean, I've done better this year during COVID times than I did when I first started the business, because I was able to get a second truck through this program. Yes. So I'm grateful for the program.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher.
Mr. Fletcher, this is Gwen Whistler. And thank you so much for coming. This is, good information for us. How did you find out about the program? And would you have any suggestions as to how we can get the word out? Or did you feel comfortable, how'd you know about it? And do you have any suggestions that could make the process better?
When I first found out about the program, I had went to PNC, to my bank, and the bank manager there referred me here to Mountain BizWorks. And when she referred me to Mountain BizWorks, they helped me to get my first truck when I was starting to get in business. And then once I got in business going with them, Michael Lane, which is the guy that I deal with here now, introduced me to this program, which helped me get the second truck.
Okay. Did you find the process easy, or was it difficult? I mean, would you have any suggestions to make it easier?
They were really helpful. I mean, it was really easy. I did my business plan with them. I wrote up a business plan. They took my business plan, and then they've pretty much helped me walk through everything that I need. And they've got people here also that, will help you through other stuff. They got classes that you can take to further your education on the business and loans and everything like that.
Okay. Thank you. Do any of the other council members have any questions for Ms. Sage?
I'm excited to hear there's been more growth, especially during a hard time in the community. I would be curious to know what you haul, and if I might be able to hire you at some point, because I'm in that industry. So please do tell us what you haul, if you may.
I haul gravel, dirt, sand, whatever debris. If it's like demolition, anything.
So dump trucking, not necessarily hauling trailers too, all removal.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Congrats.
Pavement, we do,
Okay.
yes.
What I'd like to know, this is Calvin, right?
Yes.
Okay, Calvin, do you have any other employees at this time?
I don't. I have a part-time employee.
Okay.
But I don't have another employee at this time. I really bought the second truck to, in case,
Yes.
that truck was down, I could keep working. But I do have a part-time employee that works at night sometimes.
Okay.
Not full-time.
Okay. Well, I'm proud of what you're doing, and I know, well, I already see that you're a success, so, but I wish you much more success. And also, I can get your information, because I too, need your services, so, within my company.
Okay.
But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And I do want to say that through the Asheville Business Inclusion Office, we are certifying MWBEs, I don't like using the word minority, but MWBE, Minority Women Business Enterprises. And I'm going to be working with Mr. Fletcher to see if we can get him registered as a vendor for the city of Asheville and certify as an MWBE so that we can help him or assist him in growing his opportunities and so that more people are aware of his services. Thank
That's
you.
great. That's super. Thank you. Rosanna, do you have anything more or?
And that's it for our
this section?
Yes, for this section.
So staff, we'll go ahead and take public comment. Do we have anybody, any live calls for public comment, Jenna?
There is no one in the speaker queue.
Okay, so with that, I will close public comment. And then, Rosanna, I think you're up next for the Mountain Business Equity Initiative.
Yes, thank you. Let me see, Jen, if I can share this time. Again, I can't, it's not allowing me to share. Will you share that presentation with me, with the group, I mean? Thank you. So the Mountain Business Equity Initiative was a program that was created and led by the ADIT project, Ms. Cortina Colwell. We can go to the next slide, please, Jenna. So a little timeline again for those who were not here. At the end of 2018, we received the results from a disparity study. The results showed that there were big disparities, especially for our African American community. So one of the things that the ABI office did was we decided to engage the Black business community. So I put out a contract. Cortina Colwell was the person selected to co-facilitate the meetings with me. The idea was to meet with our Black business owners in the area and get to know directly from them how could the city best serve them when it came to contracting with the city. What were their barriers to contracting with the city? How could we look at policy and reviewed the way we did bids and stuff like that. And little by little, I believe we started it was going to be a 12-week engagement where we met for about an hour and a half to 2 hours every week during lunchtime. And I believe it went up to 16 weeks total that we met. From that engagement, a few things were obvious. One, that Black business owners wanted to be led by other Black teachers, professors, leaders. So that was one of the biggest things that came out. Another one was the lack of co-working spaces where Black business owners could go into have a business meeting or go into and be part of a class and feel welcome. So based on some of the feedback, the very first thing that we decided to do was see how we could grow the capacity of the businesses. To me, I felt that we needed to grow the capacity of the businesses based on the feedback that we had received. So I put out a request for proposal in September, and we were looking for Black-led or BIPOC-led group of business owners who would be willing to teach other business owners how to grow their business and grow their capacity and provide them the leadership that the community felt they needed. So out of the proposals, we got 4 proposals. 2 of them were disqualified because they were from Charlotte. And I was very specific. I wanted the people who were going to provide the service to know the community, to be involved with the community. It was a very nice surprise when the ADE project was selected. We went through a selection process. There were 6 of us who sat in a room and discussed the 2 proposals, and the ADE project was selected. I do want to say that when the proposal was put together, there were 6 business owners that were part of the initiative, and they decided to name themselves the Mountain Business Equity Initiative. And that's why you see a difference between the contract holder and the name of the program. Jenna, please. Thank you. So the other project worked really hard to meet our the request that we had set out on the proposal. We wanted it to be a holistic program that would reach our community, especially the communities that were facing disparity, especially in our contracting. We wanted it to be high quality technical assistance, business technical assistance. We also wanted to build a pipeline of entrepreneurs and business owners, contractors, vendors that could work with the city of Asheville and gain contracts and bid opportunities, since that is what the disparity study identified, that we did not have, that we were not utilizing the businesses. So we wanted to get the businesses ready to be utilized. And then I did say we would like 75% of the participants to be able to provide a service or a product that the city could contract with. And I didn't do it 100% because I also felt that there may be other businesses out there owned by our BIPOC community who could benefit from this program. And the main idea of the program was to help the businesses grow and create jobs. Jenna, would you please? We also wanted the program to provide assistance in learning the different parts of owning a business, marketing a business. How do you plan for your cash flow? How do you manage your operations? We wanted every detail so the business could feel supported. We wanted to host monthly workshops, one-on-one training, and of course, we wanted the program to be flexible. Jenna, go ahead. And of course, COVID hit right when we were in the middle of working on MBEI. Out of the we had planned to have 2 cohorts because because MBEI had to pivot. We ended up hosting 1 cohort. But it was a larger cohort because instead of being in person, we were hosting it online. The one thing that anyone who is providing any type of business technical assistance, teaching, training, has realized through now that we are doing things online is that we don't know where the businesses are coming from. They're seeing the opportunity and they're registering. So during the first cohort, there were 23 students. 17 were from Buncombe County. 1 of them was from Polk County. And 2 of them were from different counties, but since then they have relocated to Asheville. I do want to say that not only because of MBEI that relocated to Asheville, but also because we passed the resolution for reparations, which I get a lot of requests for information on. So if I don't know if I mentioned this, but the disparity study covered 10 counties. The disparity study basically told us that our market region was 10 counties in Western North Carolina. And we wanted to include all the businesses in as many businesses in that 10 county region, because that is where the money gets exchanged. That's where people go to get jobs, contracting opportunities, and that's where they come from to work for the city. So that's how that relevant market area was formed. And that's why you see that it's not just Asheville or just Buncombe County. Next slide. So there were 23 people who entered the cohort. 15 of them graduated. I do want to say that 40% of the cohort that graduated were Black males. That to us was a really good number because of unfortunately, we know that Black males have other responsibilities and things, and they often cannot complete like this capacity building training, for example. 29, I'm just going to touch on a few important things, like 384 hours of mentoring and coaching went to the businesses. The MBEI was also able to fundraise, besides the contract that we had with them, about $11,000 to continue to provide their work. City staff, the IT department, and my office, we were able to provide support. I provided a training on how to contract with the city, what we were looking for, and stuff like that. I know that IT provided very big training on IT. I don't know anything about IT, and I apologize. But I suppose IT tools that business owners could utilize and benefit from that are free or almost free and stuff like that. So we felt that it was a successful partnership. We would have liked to see perhaps a little bit more one-on-one with some of the businesses, but I know that was really difficult because of COVID. And we also would have liked a little bit more businesses that could actually contract with the city. And although it says that 86% of the businesses express interest in contracting with the city, I believe like 2 or 3 out of the businesses were provided a service that the city would actually contract. Jenna? And that is the presentation for now on the Mountain Business Equity Initiative. And I'm open for questions.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, Say. Go ahead.
Thank you, and great presentation. I'm excited to hear all that. I appreciate the extra information and background there as some of it started. And it's a lot of great work and success, so thank you. I would be curious, a couple things, if we are doing any kind of like exit summary, how many people have been impacted, or if there's any kind of conditions around, do the loans or the collateralized part, does it go forever? Do they refinance out? Is there a schedule? Do you need more money? What, how much, how do we help you do more?
how do we help? Okay, so the first, maybe I'm confused. The first presentation was about the Mountain Community Capital Fund, which is the collateral fund. And then this presentation was about a contract that we had with the Mountain Business, at the other project, which did the work under the Mountain Business Equity Initiative. Unfortunately, during negotiations, we will not be renewing this contract with the other project. I quote, as you know, this is what Cortina wrote to us. As you know, it has been a rocky road since we started going down this path in 2019. And in light of all the recent back and forth struggles to make sure the contract is clear and represents the work being done, I have realized that I am no longer able to sustain the amount of energy and effort required to move this contract forward with the city. Consider this contract terminated as of right now. So the work with the Mountain Business Equity Initiative has ended. That's why we're doing a presentation as to what was accomplished during the time we have that contract. We know that the need, we still have that need to meet, and we are working diligently to try to come up with a different alternative. We are looking at perhaps partnering with, for example, Mountain BizWorks. Mountain BizWorks, let me go back a little. When we started what became the Mountain Business Equity Initiative, there were no programs in the area that specialized in just BIPOC business owners. So you could go to Mountain BizWorks, you could go to you could go to the Western Women Business Center, you could go to SCORE, and countless other places, but all of them were white-led, white-owned, white. Just everybody was white almost. And since then, Mountain BizWorks has started the Catalyst program, who is basically similar to what Mountain Business Equity Initiative is doing, except with a little bit more to give to the community. They're giving grants, they're giving loans at a very good rate. So there are other alternatives that we are reviewing as of now to move forward and continue this work of having our businesses ready and able to contract with the city.
And I did want to.
Could I make just a quick comment,
Yep.
Chairwoman Whistler?
Yes.
Paige, I will go back. I want to make sure we understand your question, and Councilwoman Kilgore, I think you may have had a question as well. But yeah, as Rosanna mentioned, I feel like we had, under the circumstances with the MBEI and with Cortina, a lot of successes. And unfortunately, the timing and the challenges that came forward with the pandemic, especially creating some changes in how the consultant needed to pivot and some changes on their team. I think, as Cortina had noted in her letter to us, it's going to be a challenge to continue. And I'll note two other things right quick. We also, because this is, quite honestly, a fairly expensive consulting contract with the city, we wanted to make sure that our internal communications were clear, and we wanted to make sure that we both understood, the city and the consultant, what our rules and responsibilities would be with regard to the intellectual property that's generated during the program. And we were struggling just a little bit with that. And so I think there was, the ultimate decision by the contractor to not move forward. Those both played a little bit of a role. But as Rosanna said, with the programs that were not in existence, that are now at some of our nonprofits, with the change in leadership at AB Tech and a new vice president of economic development and workforce development at AB Tech. I think we have options, but the clear goal, the finish line in all of this for us is to make sure that we're doing everything we can to get folks who will ultimately be ready, willing, and able and qualified to respond to city requests and city bids and contracting. And so that's something else. There are other programs that can help folks if they want to go into cosmetology or things like that. We don't have a whole lot of bids and contracts for things like cosmetology. So we are looking for specifically getting folks who want to be able to do business with the city, and that's our goal. So, Sage, was your question, I think, maybe a little more about the Mountain Community Capital?
Yeah, we just did a question then either, so I just wanted to tie the two, and that explanation helps a lot, Sam. I wasn't putting the connection together around city projects and city contracts. But I would love to know about that first fund. If, my questions were just like, is there a known cycle at the onset that it turns out they refinance, or is there a schedule of when the collateral becomes available again? Or
Rosanna, can you tackle that one? I think it depends on, we had the sheet of when the loans are being fulfilled by the funding agencies. And so we do know that. We do have that information, Sage. I don't know that it's on the sheet. It's certainly information we can get to you. And, that's the good news is if we get to where the fund is fully collateralized, that's a challenge, but it's a challenge worth having. And I think Councilperson Kilgore and Councilperson Turner, one of the things we learned when we were researching this program, which is very successful in the Charlotte area, is having to call in the collateral or the loan guarantee, rather, having to call in the loan guarantee if a loan defaults has been very, very small. In Charlotte, the default rate has been less than 10%. So we feel very confident, and council, I think, did a lot of due diligence when we set up the loan guarantee fund, that it would, the likelihood of our investment is very strong. Would we want to consider an additional investment? That it's a challenging time. We might well want to do that, but it's going to have to, I think, reside with all of the other council goals and priorities to figure out, where that would land on a funding continuum. But we do have a lot of success to build on with the program.
Absolutely. The fund was meant to terminate on February 1st, 2020. Like I said, it took a long time. It took a while for it to be put together because we didn't actually launch it until 2019, but it was going to expire February 1st, 2020.
Does that guy have guns?
So we decided to expand it it was decided to expand it. I believe Sam presented it. Expanded 5 more years, which makes it a maturity date of February 1st, 2025. So to say to Ms. Turner's question, I'm not a politician. I don't know how to say things, but I absolutely feel that our entrepreneurs, our BIPOC entrepreneurs, would definitely benefit from this fund, especially given that throughout COVID, they have not benefited from PPE or any of those other things. And this is a way for us to continue to support them. And Mountain BizWorks has provided us that guidance and continued support and lending when the other institutions have stopped lending to businesses because of COVID. Mountain BizWorks they haven't stopped lending. They're doing like PPP loans and loans like that. Mountain BizWorks has continued to provide that initiative and support the community that we work with and continue to create that impact.
Oh, I just want to commend you. I think it's a great program.
You pushed the top
Thanks.
TV station.
And I do hope that we can consider it as a priority to have more funds available if the last 162 are expected to be dwindled by May. I know it's going to be a hard budget cycle, but I've got it on my mind now, so thank you.
Sandra, did you?
Well, pretty much some of the same questions they were, I was going to ask. But what I would like to do is, I know Rosanna probably, she's not really familiar with the financing terms, but do they have, had programs that were more or less custom made to a client's situation as far as the loans? Or did you pretty much run them on a regular schedule as being due?
So the loans are managed as any other loan that Mountain BizWorks would manage.
Okay.
So I do know, I used to work for Mountain BizWorks and I was an underwriter. So I understand how the underwriting system works there and all those things. So they're very flexible. They do work with the clients. I know that if the client is having a hard time paying for the loan, they will do things like, let's not do payments for 3 months.
Okay.
Or then let's do interest only for the next 6 months until
Okay.
you're able to catch up. So I know that Mountain BizWorks does work with them when needed and as needed.
Now, do they also require maybe the financial records while these loans are in place? Like, say, for instance, if a company has this loan, and do they have to produce their records every, quarter or something to just see, how well they're doing managing the money and things like that? And how does that affect the loan?
So I do want to say that when I worked there, that was a big issue because that would require more staff. And we know that often, like, nonprofits, have capacity, just like many other places. And that was something that they always talked about, growing the capacity. At this moment, I cannot speak of their capacity when it comes to that. But what I can tell you is that if they review the financial statements of someone who has a loan, and for example, they're not doing that good, Mountain BizWorks is not going to recall that loan because what are they going to recall? If the person is making payments and making an effort to make payments, and if they are speaking with the underwriter and staying engaged, Mountain BizWorks will continue to work with them. If they disengage or something like that, that's when you would see like collateral being called in and stuff like that. And there are guidelines that we did stipulate in the Mountain Community Capital Fund. For example, they have to get all the collateral, like if there's any business equipment or business property, that would have to be sold out first, cleared off, and then we would. Our fund would cover the difference between whatever they were able to get for that collateral to what's owed. So there are things that mitigate the risk for this fund to just go in the air.
But I was more or less wondering, say, for instance, you did a certain loan to a certain company and their profits were, and that's the reason I was asking about their profit and loss statements and things like that. And they were actually doing rather well. And that's the reason I was wondering, was anything tied to the amount of income they were actually available income they had available as far as could be tied to the loan, repayment of the loan? You didn't?
No.
Okay.
No. I know that it's always advised, hey, let's do a loan for this term. It's the term, the amount is less that you have to pay and pay extra whenever you can. So I can tell you that Mountain BizWorks has a very, just like the capital fund in Charlotte has a very low rate of non-payment.
Yeah.
Default. Mountain BizWorks also itself has a very small default rate
Okay.
because it's I believe the community knows the organization, and you start to build relationship, and that's what maintains the business owners accountable and continue to make payments. I'm not going to say that it doesn't happen where people just disappear and don't pay anymore, but that's very unlikely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, council members, before I open up to public comment, do you have any other questions on either topic, Sage? We won't hold you to the agenda. All right, so we're going to open this up to public comment. Staff, do we have any folks on the line for public comment related to the Mountain Business Equity Initiative?
We do not.
Okay, so I will close public comment on this, and now I will open it up to general public comment. Staff, Jenna, do we have any general public commenters out there?
No, there's no one in the speaker queue.
Are you telling me nobody's listening to us, Jenna? I can't believe it.
There's no one on the line.
Oh, that's just unfortunate. But Rosanna, you did a fabulous job. And so these people missed out by not listening in. This is really great information. I do think to Sandra and Sage's suggestion, maybe like once a year, if we could get a schedule kind of showing here's what the available fund is, here's, the schedule of when the collateral will get freed up. So, a little bit like when we do the Housing Trust Fund, it's the same idea, sort of rolls out so that we know when more available funding would be, when funding becomes available. It would be nice for the same thing for the fund. I mean, it's probably not a crisis, but just, down the road. Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Thank
and
you.
there are, according to YouTube, there are at least 7 people watching.
Okay, well, see, thanks, Rosanna. And I know that they will tune in next time they see you on the agenda. So with that, I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.